Hello, my name is Dean Tremaine from Canadian Business College. Join us in conversation to learn more about what we do here on a daily basis to help you find a better career.
I'm Alan Dale from Gale Force Winds, and I want to tell you, I'm having a great time here at the Canadian Business College in Mississauga, Ontario. A lot of cool things happening in the college, you know, really providing opportunities for people. And what I really love about the college system is that they understand that time is important, and they get to the learning and they get the students ready. And that's what I want to talk about next. So why don't you tell us who you are and what you do?
My name is Pat Poremba. I'm the Director of Career Services for Canadian Business College. Primarily, my role is to support the students and the graduates with their ultimate goal of obtaining a new career, a better opportunity, get them job ready, making sure, fine-tuning all their tools, and making sure they can get out there and sell themselves.
Well, that's a big responsibility. There's a lot of moving parts in that. There's a lot of moving parts here. So there's one thing about CBC. There's a warm embrace when you come. They break down the barriers to allow you into the learning model. You know, we've heard from students that CBC has risen above the rest because of the ease of access, but it's a piece in the middle and towards the end that I really want to focus on with you, Pat. The students are going through their learning process. How are you there to support them in that journey?
Well, I mean, from day one, I work with them individually or within the classroom setting, visiting their classrooms. Obviously, you know, I'm not there to teach them their core programs. But I'm accessible. Communication is a huge, huge factor. As they get closer to finishing, I will be reaching out to them individually to get one-on-one, dig deep on really what they're looking for. But while the students are in school, we do conduct a number of different workshops that are outside of their class time for them to fine-tune their resumes, fine-tune their interview prep, update their LinkedIn profile, and they can attend those workshops 5 times if they wanted to, the same subject. And that continues as they get closer to graduating, and then we really say, okay, are you ready to go out? You know, like, can you interview well? If I had an employer with me right now, would you be able to sell themselves?
Right.
You know, and we continue that. As they graduate, then I will continue to reach out to them on an individual basis, regularly communicating, hey, you know what, I just received a call from an employer. They're looking for X, Y, and Z. You seem to be a good fit. Can I connect you with the employer? So those things happen afterwards. But it's always been my philosophy that we can't effectively help the graduates if we don't know who you are as a student.
Right.
So we try and develop that partnership while they're in school.
I love that. That you're so true, right? You need to understand the person, what their goals are, the direction they're going, maybe some of the where they are in life to try to figure all of that out.
They may have some challenges that we're not aware of.
Right.
You know.
And then trying to find that perfect fit for them.
Exactly.
And it must be amazing when you do find the perfect fit.
Yeah.
How does that feel when you find the perfect?
It's very, very satisfying, and that's why we do what we do.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, the student's success is our success.
But it's not only do you need to be in tune with the students that they're going through, and indeed the staff and instructors to understand where the students are, but you kind of need to be very connected with a more broader conversation, the ecosystem that is around you, community partners and industry partners, knowing where they are, their needs are. Talk to me about the importance of that.
So, you know, that's always evolving. We're always developing new partnerships, nurturing existing ones. Depending on the market at a particular time, depending on the students' needs, the graduates' needs, we do have industry partners that will present to classes. And when those things happen, whether it's an employer that's actively applying or actively hiring, Or we've just invited an employer to share their experiences. We invite students and we invite grads. So whether you're a student, whether you're a grad, they're always included.
Right. And it gives you, not only does it open the avenue for hires and that, but it opens the avenue for feedback. So it allows your industry partners and your community partners to say, hey, here's what we need in a graduate.
Exactly.
Helps you better than define to the students, this is what we're looking for, right? It must be great to watch that loop close.
Yeah, it does. It does. And from time to time, we may, I may find a particular graduate that has a unique quality. I may reach out to an employer directly and say, you know what, you got to speak to this one.
Right.
You've got, there's something here. I think it's a good connection. So everybody's situation is different. We work with them each individually. And
not every academic institution can say that they got somebody like you on their team, right? That's really looking out for the best interest of the student to make sure that they find that perfect job.
Yeah, that's very true. I will follow up with students, or more importantly, the graduates, to say, okay, you know what? I know you've been going on interviews. What's happening?
Yeah.
You're not working. What's happening? Maybe we need to re-examine your interview skills.
You must have interacted with so many people, in your time here. Tell me about what those students and graduates mean to you.
Lots of times when I look, I think, okay, if I was the employer or if I was the client and you were my PSW, would I want you as as my caregiver? Would I want you as my employee? And those are things that I try and nurture to work with the students. Do you have the skills? If not, let's work on them. Let's develop them, and that's why it's so important to develop that relationship while they're here, so that going forward, and they call and say, "Guess what? I got the job," and that's the ultimate result. That's the ultimate goal.
That's got to feel so good.
It does. It does.
That's got to feel so good when you know that person can make such a difference to that organization, and you connect the dots. You must have hundreds of those success stories.
I'm not going to tell you how many years of hundreds. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. And the other thing that I just wanted to mention is, from time to time, graduates, do well. May reach back out to us because they're now hiring. So it's a full circle. They were a student, they were a grad, and now they're an employer that we're dealing with.
I mean, that's a true measurement of success there, right?
Yeah.
When you've got somebody who's come through your program, found a job, and then has now found themselves in an ability to reach back and hire from there. That tells you how well you're doing business.
Yeah.
It's been an absolute pleasure to be in conversation with you.
Thank you
for
very much.
doing what you do.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching, and to learn more, visit www.canadianbusinesscollege.com.